Hi, Ken from 10-Bit Repair Guide. AC power, what is it? It is the cheapest way to make an electron current to work for you. And the reason is that if you take, I found this thing online here. You see, this is a generator inside, and it has a revolving magnetic field that's being pulled by some kind of a motor that can be run by diesel or coal or steam or whatever makes it run, or a windmill for that matter. And that's revolving this field inside these poles. You see them out in the edges here, A, B, C, and see these poles here have like wires run around them like a transformer. And what happens is that when the magnetic field of the thing in the middle is coming by it and breaching that magnetic field of that pole, it creates a voltage. It creates voltage into the wiring. And so you see the picture on the other side there. That is the power coming out of these wires. So depending on where the pole, in the middle you have north and south, is passing by it, you will generate the power in that direction. And so that's why AC power has its name. It means, the abbreviation is for alternating current. It means that it goes positive, then negative, positive, then negative. And because that is revolving, you will have that magnetic field being built up and then get weaker. And then it will change the polarity. So if you just follow one of the dots, I'm gonna get a bit closer, you see, I don't know if it's possible to really see, but one is red, one is green, and one is blue. So if you just follow the blue, for example, and they're all the same, you can see that it's like going up and down, up, and what you have there is what you call a cycle. And that is a complete that is equivalent in this case here to a complete round inside that motor. And that's the cycle that we're talking about, which also, when you talk about power, it's called hertz. That means that how many of these cycles per second do you have? So for American power, we have 60. That means that you have 60 of these complete cycles that you see, like when the ball goes from one side and there, dum, 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 dum. That's a cycle. And so you will have 60 of those in a second. And so that's why we're talking about 60 hertz. And you see how easy it is to take mechanical power and turn it into electrical power inside this motor. The motor is relatively cheap to make, and it creates a lot of power, really. So that's why we're using it. Another reason why we're using it is that this kind of power can be transferred from one point to another without tremendous loss. And the original, what can you say, way of making power was DC power. But DC power has that thing that it loses more power over a long stretch. So that's a bit of a weakness. The reason why we use DC power is because of electronics are using something called semiconductors, that is, which has direction layers in there. So it's for electronics. It's you have some limitations with AC that you do not have with DC, where you can use DC and its unified direction, which this keeps on out there. It would be too rambunctious to use for it. Some electronics can run on this, but most cannot. So that's AC power. And what also you need to be aware of with AC power is that, so your gauge is like your multimeter needs to be in AC in order to measure this kind of alternating power. And so it knows what to look for there, so it cannot be a DC. And another thing you need to be aware of is that AC is the one that is potentially dangerous to your heart, because it has that oscillating power cycle that makes it want your heart to go by 60 beats a second, which is a pretty high pulse, one would argue. But so there you have it. This is AC power. Hope you got something out of it. Ken from 10-Bit Repair Guide. Take care, guys.